Let me get rid of that. There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to hour number 3 for Die Party Blood Jews, week number 4. Graham, what's up? What's going on?
We're in the future now. We diagonal wipe from the last time. Oh, you know what?
30 years into the... No,
We'll do a left wipe. So it's like we're going forward.
Let me see.
So a Star Wars wipe?
Yeah. You find yourself on a wagon, rumbling down a heavily forested, wooded road. The road leads into an area south of the Vale. Basically, heavy forest, heavy, dense forest. The road runs around the south into the... okay, let me start over. These are the borderlands. Untamed wilderness in the southern reaches of Thunderon. The poor excuse for a road leads only one place, the southernmost bastion controlled by Thunderon, and marks the end of Beachcrestian territory. The keep is miles from what most would call civilization. You saw a cabin or two nestled up into the trees, but those were about 20 miles back at this stage. The wagon you find yourself on is being driven by two dwarves who are traders, basically. They normally work the tunnels under the Gilvag stronghold, but they were asked specifically by Lord Ragni to accompany the party as quality control.
Seems we always have a dwarf problem in this party, as it turns out. Can't get rid of him. Yeah.
The first dwarf, the driver, the one on the right, is Burr. A young dwarf, barely a man. His blonde beard is ratty and unkempt. The traders are basically people who are dwarves or who are traders don't have a house, and so they don't have the same sort of hierarchy as the rest of the houses. So they don't have braids in their beards. Is the long and short of it. He is dressed simply, portly, and fleshy. His hair is done into dreadlocks. You've come to understand that he is a very heavy drinker, considering that he is never without a drink at any point.
Huh.
He has a specially crafted heirloom longsword called Combergets. The second dwarf, the passenger, is the tallest dwarf you've actually ever seen. Taller than even some humans you've seen.
Is he taller than me? That's the barometer.
No. But he's 4'11".
Okay, what's his name?
This is Gimak.
Gimak.
This
Oh, we don't type it out?
This is Gimak and Burr.
Okay, there.
Yeah, he's quite... Gimak is quite human in proportion as well, though his beard and facial features are clearly dwarven. His mannerisms are unmistakably dwarven. His blonde hair is straight to his shoulders, and his beard is done up in one ponytail. He's very strong, and his muscles are quartered and efficient. He also never seems to just shut up, just keeps talking, just running at the mouth.
I would gladly talk shit with him.
Okay. Actually, the two dwarves right now are discussing a theoretical battle between a white dragon and a white dragon's weight in bears.
I would join in on this conversation. It's like,
oh boy.
are the bears old
Yeah.
or young? Like, what are we dealing with here? Like,
Probably at the prime of their life. Probably the most efficient that you can get. You got to fit a certain amount of bears in the white dragon's weight, right? So you want them to be the most efficient.
yeah.
Bears
Well, I mean,
yeah,
theoretically speaking, the bears would win. I mean, if you look at it
Why do
like
you say
this, basically, bears would climb onto a part of the dragon that the dragon can't reach. I mean, its neck is not able to reach its back, its tail can't whip around that high, it doesn't have limbs to reach around the back of itself like I do.
No. The white dragon would surely freeze the majority of the bears straight away. It wouldn't even be a contest.
Well, what about if they fell from the sky?
If the bears fell from the sky?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that might work. If it's an aerial battle and the bears are being thrown from somewhere, that might work.
Like a bear catapult to launch onto the...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's really smart.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh.
that might do it. I'm gonna it's possible. I don't know about the maneuverability of an airborne bear, but
Not very
you know,
good.
it's
I'm
possible.
everything.
Think
Not
of a
very good, you
cannonball,
think.
I'd imagine. I mean, if you launched a white dragon's weight worth of bears onto a dragon, I assume it would just demolish it. But like being hit by a falling house, almost.
Interesting.
Hmm. But also, the bears also would be severely damaged.
Anyway, it is not the most enlightening of conversations.
Yeah.
The reason you are traveling to the keep 2 weeks ago, this does not count against your 20-day limit, but yeah, caravan disappeared. No, I rewrote this. Some additional information. Lord Ragnar sent investigators into the tunnels to try and root out kobolds, or drow, but there's no sign of anything of that sort for miles in any direction, save the keep. So there's not even a trace. There's not a splinter of that caravan down there.
Inside job, my guess.
That's what you think. That's what you're going here to find out.
Yep.
Ruling out the keep as a possibility. Boswell has given you the name of Captain Sinat. You also have the name of Father Grimbald, Brother Grimbald. You also know that there is underneath Captain Sinat is his Lieutenant Absalon. There is a bailiff who is a judge, jury, and executioner to criminals in the keep named Solomon. And Urian, also called Lionheart, controls the gates and who comes in and out.
Hmm.
There are common amenities there like smithy, merchants, and there's an inn and a tavern there, and it's a perfectly sustainable community. There's just not a lot of people in it. There's about maybe 40 or 50 at most. But actually, he does tell you that right now there is a lot of mercenary activity there. Namely because they're having a major problem with lizard men, goblins, and orcs in the area, and that they're just in the forest. They're making camps. Leaving them there. They're moving around, and so they basically have a lot of mercenaries there as bounty hunters. And the keep is paying bounties for people who go and kill the goblins and the orcs and whatnot.
How many mercenaries are we talking about?
Probably 10 or 15 at most. They're all staying at the Journeyman's Guild house.
And you're saying that the town has had basically problems with goblins and orcs and such.
Right now, there's been a very large increase in population among the Wilderlands. Things have gotten so bad. It's also acceptable for the guards to go out ranging on their days off in order to hunt goblins and orcs. And there's also beastmen and ogres.
Okay.
And the keep pays bounties for left ears returned to Lieutenant Absalon.
Yeah. Would there be a possibility that my father might have come here in?
Certainly, there's a possibility of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how recent is this? Is this increase in population for the goblins and such?
A month, maybe more.
Okay.
Along with you, the wagon is transporting a large load of pears that Thistle Burrows has sent along because he's got to get rid of them. No, it's going to be a bonus, a good bonus, a nice treat for the people who live in the keep, kind of as a ticket to help make it easier.
Let's be honest here. If the garbage disposal pike won't eat his pears, I mean, it can't be too good.
I mean, it could just be that it's just pike.
Well, pike it would eat a goblin over a pear, like.
A goblin is meat.
Yeah.
A goblin's meat's meat.
Yeah. Meat's meat.
The wagon rumbles along, pulled by two brown draft geldings that lumbers up a hill over some rocks and comes to the crest where it descends.
Is Pike just following? Like, what's happening there?
What would you like to have him do?
Is there a space for him to sit on the caravan?
No.
No? Then he would just sort of follow. I mean, occasionally I would jump off and ride him and stuff like that and whatnot, but, you know...
Sure. Do you get Pike's insight on the conversation?
Yeah, like whether he think the bears would win or not.
He's pro dragon.
Pro dragon, of course he would be.
Yeah.
Of course.
I relay this, by the way.
Oh, that Pike
yeah.
view.
I say, well, my wyvern thinks, you know, blah blah, and so just want to make that obvious that I'm saying that.
All right. The road leads down and through a clearing where the path exits the dense forest and continues through a huge clearing dominated by a massive dark castle. The keep was built into the hill valley, and the keep essentially fits snug in between the two rises. A large ravine has been dug into the black dirt, and a heavy wood drawbridge lays across the ravine. As the horse-drawn wagon rumbles over the drawbridge, the pairs pop and jumble about as the wheels cross the wooden slats. You guys are basically already approached at this point. Looking down in the ravine, you see muddy liquid of some sort and assorted garbage, probably sewage. The dark gray stone is 25 feet tall. Battlements line the entirety of the wall, and you can see 6 sentries with heavy crossbows pacing back and forth, keeping an eye on you. 2 flags hang down on either side of the main gate, depicting 2 different emblems. The first is a symbol of a hammer forging a waterfall on a background of alternating purple and black.
Graham, it's worth pointing out, as we get closer to the approach, I would probably mount up Pike.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
The other flag shows a black stout keep with yellow windows on a field of purple and red diamonds. At this point, there's an explosion.
Well then.
Off to the right.
Are they under attack? What's going on here?
Like, whoa.
You're not sure. Then you hear shouting.
Do I look up? I look up at the guards. What's their reactions to this explosion?
Oh, they're very startled as well. They look startled at first. They look over, and then they go back to what they were doing. They don't seem concerned.
This is really puzzling.
I'm going to. I guess I probably would have brought the horse. So,
Okay.
I probably just
Go
mention them.
Investigator, leave it. Burr and Gimac say, "What was that?
Maybe it's those bears."
Exploding bears? No wonder they were able to take down the dragon."
Pike is kind of angry at this comment.
Well, Pike, yeah. I've never seen a bear for real. Did they explode? That could have been a bear.
I've only seen an owl bear. I haven't seen a real bear.
Well, bears probably explode. That was probably a bear. You should go check it out.
It sounded like it was from within the walls. Is that true, Graham?
No, it wasn't. It was in the woods next to the wall.
Interesting.
And there's loud shouting back and forth.
Do you guys know where you'll be staying in the town?
No, we just got here.
Okay. Why don't you find
We'll wait for you right here. We won't go in without you.
Oh, all right. That sounds like the best option.
Yeah.
Engelard, do you want to join me?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Okay. I guess we will ride off to see what the explosion was.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
kind of
It's not very far away. You can make your way through the woods. You eventually come to a clearing where several trees have been laid flat, and there are 2 figures standing there covered in soot. And Spencer, would you like to describe what your character looks like?
Oh, in that case, we turn around and go back to the gate. No.
Nope.
You see a hulking.
You need to pull down your microphone, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear you very well.
We can't hear you at all.
Spike auto. Skype auto.
There we
not
go.
Spike. Skype auto corrected my volume there. All right. Hello. All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going? You see a hulking, bulbous figure, who looks quite tall and looks okay. Basically, you see the Michelin Man, only instead of made out of tires, he's made out of random scraps of leather and metal, and he's got a giant, multi-eyed helmet on top, which looks like nothing any of you have ever seen, but it is quite metal and quite large.
You also see a dark-skinned man in plate mail. He's got, let's see, he's got a red, not red. He's basically got a squire with him. Captain Sinat is wearing splint mail. He's got a very thin, spindly teenage squire who is holding what looks to be a spear with a bundle of feathers attached to it.
Okay. Do I recognize Sinat, by the way?
No, but by your, from Thistleborough's description, this looks like him because he's wearing No, he's not wearing a cape. But he is. He's got armor. He's got a squire. He looks to be in charge. He is yelling obscenities at the bulbous figure that looks to be a monster. You should probably attack it.
Senate, is that you?
Says, "Who goes there?"
We're emissaries of.
I'm not in
Thistleborough.
the mood.
Do you need assistance?
I do. This idiot nearly killed me.
Now, I appreciate your concerns, sir, but importantly, nobody died. And second of all, we can treat this as a learning experience.
Learning experience.
Right, yeah, a tripwire is no good. A squirrel can set it off. We need something that'll only go off to, something as big as a goblin.
What about a pressure plate?
You guys see what appears to be the giblets of a squirrel that have splattered the bulbous figure.
And obviously, being a forest, it's filled with squirrels.
Yeah, it is.
Right, so back to the drawing board.
Get back to work.
Yes,
Dumbass.
sir.
I salute and head back towards the keep.
How do you
Okay.
walk in your suit, by the way? I'm interested in this.
Not well.
It looks actually.
So do you like lean from side to side to sort of like bend your knees or something? Because I imagine it's like that.
No, he's bent. He's bent.
Okay, all right.
Well,
It really does look like someone strapped a bunch of mattresses to himself, or blankets, or it's really quite ridiculous.
Who the hell are you?
As I said, Senate, we're emissaries of Thistleborough, so you might have received a letter ahead of time.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, I don't mean to yell. He irks me.
He seems like a very interesting man, all the same.
He's
we
a
saw the explosion.
Yeah.
he's a damn genius, is what he is. We need his help. He needs us. It's a business relationship that is quite dangerous.
What's with his getup? He looks like he belongs in a novel.
He wears that to protect himself from any mishaps like this one, as a matter of fact. Believe it or not, these mishaps are quite common, and so he wears that to protect his face
Oh boy.
and other parts.
Oh, would it make sense? I mean, how?
Yeah.
Do you need any assistance? Are you okay? Are you injured?
No. What are your names again?
I am Walzer. This lovely beast is
I am-
Pike, and
I am Ingvar.
Like it's spilling over Engelard. That's great.
Yeah.
oh, we are connected mentally. He's basically my he's basically a child of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
And he says, Walzer, Engelard, Pike. Yeah, we've been expecting you. Come on, let's get back inside. Never know what's out here.
Sounds good to me.
So as you're walking back, he says, the letter was a little sketchy. Why exactly are you here, searching for brigands or something?
Engelard, why don't you fill this one?
I can tell you, we only have upright characters in.
Well, what we're searching for, I guess, should be a caravan. One that went missing some time back. A dwarven one. And if we don't find it or find out what happened to it, then, well, I have this feeling that this area will have a much bigger problem than just some goblin infestation.
He says, what do you mean?
What I mean is that if we don't find it, the dwarves will be going to war with you.
What? Well, you.
I look at him stone face, like this is sort of like the truth sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he gets that, and he say,
French.
well, you'll have all the support you need from me and my men, and there are civilians in the keep. I don't want to cause a panic.
How many are we dealing with?
Of course.
It might be a good idea to I mean, they've given us some leeway here. We have 20 days.
Yeah.
It's probably closer to 18 now. With what to investigate this. So maybe it's best if you also make preparations to evacuate any non-military personnel.
If in 2 weeks we have not discovered it, I would say that to begin evacuation preparations immediately for all civilians.
Do you have a plan? Any leads? Anything with which to work with?
Well,
I mean,
we know.
if we evacuate, I mean, if there's a brigand amongst us, they'll catch wise and just leave.
That's why I suggest don't begin evacuation plans unless we just cannot find them in time. But what we do know is that the caravan disappeared. This is the closest area, basically, from where it disappeared. They could not discover any sort of signs of what happened to it, whether it was destroyed, they're all just kidnapped, what have you. And
but something I didn't mention, all the dwarves who were going with that caravan also disappeared.
Yes, that's why I mean. So we don't know what exactly happened to it. All we know is that it just disappeared off of the face of the Vale once it got near this area. So what we need to do is try and see if we can just find out anything, whether it be somebody in the town that forced them to disappear, pretty much, or whether it might be the goblins that did something, trying to incite war between the two otherwise decent allies, at least. Or what? We just need answers.
Well, you'll have all the help you need from me. I can actually, and he calls. You guys are basically caught up to Roland, who's walking slowly back to where he's gone. He says, "Roland."
Yeah.
He says, "Why don't you show these two around? You know all the people in the keep."
Yeah, sure thing. I'm Roland.
We gathered.
Extends his hand.
I grip his hand as hard as I can and shake it.
You'd feel literally no give in the armor around his fingers.
I have 18 muscle.
You feel literally no give in the armor around his fingers.
I still squeeze as hard as I can. It's obvious on my face. Yeah.
What did you say your name was?
Walzer!
Wally.
Walzer!
Nice to meet you, Wally.
God. Can you open the hatch at all?
What? Oh, hold on a second.
And he reaches up towards his mouth and
Smoke
where
comes
you
out.
presume a mouth is, and he screws something and opens a little flap. Oh, hi,
Hi, it's Walzer, not Wally.
Wally.
Walzer.
Nice to meet you, Wally.
Walzer.
What's your friend's name?
His name is Wally. I'm Walzer.
Oh, don't you dare do that to me.
Wally and Wally. That's gonna be pretty confusing.
No, trust me. He is Walzer. I'm Engelard.
What'd you say your name was?
Engelard.
England?
No. It doesn't even exist in this world.
That's a pretty fancy name, England.
I start walking away.
Yeah.
You guys see that Burr and Gimac are waiting in their cart. Captain Sinat has, with his squire, have gone inside the keep. Well, no, he hasn't. He's standing at the gate, ready to kind of lead you inside because there's a process that happens. Captain Sinat basically walks back up to you. Doesn't want much to do with Roland, and so he kind of ignores him. He says to you, "There's two rules. One,
We don't talk about the keep on the Borderlands. 2,
yeah, don't.
we don't talk about the keep on the Borderlands. That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
No. He says there's only two rules. One, once the gates close at night, they don't open back up. Can't, for safety precaution. Secondly, any suspicious arcane or divine artifacts or items, anything you're not sure of, needs to be declared with Uriart, also called Lionheart, stamped with his personal seal. Elsewise, it's considered contraband. Possession of contraband is punished with 3 weeks in the dungeon and 1 week in the stocks.
How does this one get around then?
What do you mean?
I nudge my head to Roland.
Much as I don't like to admit it, Roland has proven his worth once at least that I know of.
The explosion was not arcane then?
What?
What?
I didn't get that.
You
Yeah,
broke
no,
up.
Joe.
The explosion was not arcane then? It was not magic?
Roland?
What?
That's,
No,
I don't,
I'm not much of a wizard, you see. It's a basic chemical formula.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. I lose severe interest in Roland.
I gain interest.
You two start dating. It's weird. What about my
basically,
what about my animal companion? He's not a regular beast that you might see day to day, but he's important to me.
stabling
as
for
my-
horses is 1 silver per day in common stables, but for that monster, you'll have to speak with the groom. It seems awfully docile, but it'll
He
probably be
is.
at least 1 gold piece per day.
You're kidding me, right? That is quite steep.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can come to some arrangement.
He says, "We'll see. I'll have a word with the cavalry stableman."
I don't mind if he's separated out from the other animals. That's not a big deal as long as he's not outside the walls.
Aye, we'll figure something out. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You see that when you walk through the raised portcullis, 2 armored guards stand with sabers on the inside, and you see within there at least a score of guards milling about their business.
Mm-hmm.
2 towers flank the main gate, and the iron portcullis is the main entrance to the gatehouse. You can see the battlements have arrow slits for bow and crossbow fire. As you walk through the gatehouse and look up, you see holes have been bored through the gray stone. 2 iron doors are on either side of the gate, which indicates the wall is 10-foot thick stone. The holes are used for pouring boiling oil through on any invaders. The entire structure is evidently constructed from great blocks of hard granite. The gatehouse entrance exits into an entry yard. Captain Sinat leads you through to the left. To your right, you see a stable with many pack animals. You head left past a thatch roof building of stone construction and around a corner, basically leading you to a man, a very large man, bald, but he's got a very thick neck beard and it's blonde. And
Glistening.
yeah, no, this is Lionheart.
All right.
And he's also got basically a mousy-looking assistant sitting. He's got a scroll, kind of keeping notes, following him around. And Captain Sinat says, "Urion, this is Walzer, Engelard, and Dragon,
Pike.
whatever his name.
Pike.
Pike. And Urion says, or Lionheart says, "Nice to meet you." And he kind of looks suspiciously and perhaps a little bit fearfully at Pike. And he says, "Any contraband to declare?"
None.
Yeah. No.
He says, "Are you sure? You've been read the punishments for contraband possession?"
Yes, we don't come across magical items that often.
Aye, yes. Well, make sure you come find me if you do.
Okay. Do
Across
you have
the way-
any suspicions about Pike? I mean, it's normally there's questions to be asked when an animal such as this walks into a town, so I figured I would clear it with
considering
you.
you're walking along with Captain Sinat, Captain Sinat, you've seen. Captain Sinat says, we'll have to play it by ear, Urion. But Thistleboros trusts Walzer, and so I trust Walzer. And Walzer trusts Pike, apparently.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
The only people about are armored guards. You see an occasional mercenary wandering around, loitering.
Right.
You see a bearded man smoking a pipe.
Lionheart, I have a question for you.
Aye.
Do you know a Grimvold? Brother Grimvold?
Oh, Brother Grimbold, yes. A quiet man, very nice. Yeah, he's in the church. If you go down to the Fountain Square, you can't miss it. It's the big white building.
Okay, thank you. That'd
Alright.
be my first stop.
He says, yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
You fellas still want that tour?
Well, I mean,
Jacob,
Well, we might as well.
sorry, Engelard, why don't you go with Roland here? I mean, I would very much like to get this fixed, and I sort of nudge towards my arm. And I'm like,
that's fine by me. Well, lead the way then, Roland.
So just for saying, Gimmick and Burr will stable their horses, untie them from the cart, and put the cart near the stables. Then they'll just kind of follow you at a distance, but talk to each other, but keep an eye on you.
on who?
You.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome to walk up here with me. I thought we were past all this.
He says, "Past what?
The suspicion.
We're not suspicious at all."
Very well.
Pat you on the
Okay. And I guess I'll make my way down to Brother Grimvold. Vold?
Grimbold.
Grimvold.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, if Spencer, if you're just gonna show Engelard around, you can type to him what's around if you want to, or we can just wait till I get back to you. Whatever you want to do.
You know, it's mostly just it's probably just information that should be sent to him.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Well, if you can copy and paste that file and send it to him, that would be
Pretty much.
lovely.
Pretty much.
Other than the stuff about people, they're just gonna rattle off.
And that guy's having an affair with his wife.
He says very loudly.
Affair with his wife, isn't that normal? No.
It's complicated.
You make your way around to the Fountain Square, and there's a clear white building that's 2 stories that has large stained glass windows and a big sunroof.
Okay. Is the door open? Like, I'm not sure how churches work in this setting.
You typically just go in whenever you'd like to.
Okay. Well, I'd walk in and maybe Pike can just sort of meander out the front or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, I make my way in.
Right. When you walk in, you see that there are rows of pews. Rows is not the right term, but there are pews, and they are all fashioned oriented into a circle. And all the circles, and the circle is focused in the center of the room where the sunroof is.
Interesting.
So in the middle of the day, it will be straight down into the center, like a spotlight. Secondly, there is a dais in three walls of the room, and other than that, you see that there are a couple of assistants. They're all wearing various colored robes, black, gray, white, what have you. It's kind of whatever. But there is a middle-aged, hefty, balding man with a goatee and green eyes. Very green eyes.
Okay, I assume this is...
Who is... Well, he is speaking with a man who is portly and stout and also balding.
Okay. I walk up
Wearing
to the
office
group
clothing.
and I sort of stand so that they can see me. And I say to them, praise the sun. I'm looking for Brother Grimvold.
Please take. God damn it, Dave.
Boo.
Bro.
Boo. He
Damn.
he pats the Brother Grimbold pats the other man on the arm. And he says, may your travels be ever bathed in light, and sends him along his way. And he says, yes, what can I do for you, sir? Kind of looks you up and down. You look a bit ratty coming in from the travel.
I am a friend of Thistlebar's. You might have gotten a letter ahead of time explaining my arrival.
Yes, you're the man with the arm. Yes, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
He says, nice to make your acquaintance. I'm Brother Grimbald.
Walza.
He holds out his right hand for you to shake.
I hold out my left hand and shake it awkwardly.
No, he held out his right. That's the right.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, sure. Yep.
He did the right way.
Yep, okay.
And he'll say, what exactly can I do for you? Is it, I'm afraid all I could really do is, the best way to heal a broken arm would be with bed rest and to not use it at all. But,
you
from what
see,
Thistlebar's told me of your exploits, that might not be an option.
yes, time is kind of, like, best bed rest is something that I would like, but unfortunately in this day and age, it is not something that I am capable of. There is a lot that is going on, and there is a lot that needs my attention in particular. And being, basically, what's the word? Vulnerable as is quite discerning for me.
Hi. Well, let me, if you'd like me, Thistlebar's mentioned he'd want me to take a look at that arm, and if you'd undo the wrapping, I can do my best. I can see what can be seen.
Sure, I'll expose it and remove the brace and stuff.
Okay, cause step over here into the light, and next to a window, he sends you to, has you step over, and he looks at it, and he will close his eyes and kind of touch it, and he'll touch your arm, and it hurts a lot. But he's being gentle, but it's just very sensitive.
I assume it's all like bruised and shit now and whatnot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oops. Okay. So he's kind of mumbling something under his breath.
I just watch him.
And he says, yes, it's seems to be broken quite extensively. Let me say a quick prayer. Please join me. Bow your head.
I bow my head.
He says, Alzius, I Borei ta tatixia sasna hey nai los mai no still fos pote. And he says to you, Walzer, and he says, Alzius, God of the Sun, has blessed he's seen that your task is righteous, and he has blessed you, though he sees your broken arm as a test of integrity and test of character. Though in his infinite power he could heal it, but he chooses not to.
I sort of start laughing at that. I'm like, oh, thank you for your time.
And the growth of integrity, growth of character is nothing to scoff at.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It was not something that I was scoffing at, brother. I was simply laughing at the irony.
And then you walk away.
Yeah, and then I say good day, and then I make my way out of the church, I guess. I leave a tip,
Okay.
I guess, if they have a collection bowl or
Okay,
something.
yeah,
like
in the
that.
donation box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll leave like a gold piece.
Okay.
And
Meanwhile, Angelard and Roland,
Hmm.
where are you guys at? Where would you guys like to be?
And over here, we have Chapel of the God of the Sun.
I can see that.
It's very pretty, don't you think?
There's Walter.
It's better than looking than the Bailey was.
Oh, look! It's Wally! How you doing, Wally?
Engelard, hey, how you doing? So
I'm doing fine.
the
How's that arm?
yeah, your wife. Remind me, what was her chosen god?
Rendell, God of Thunder?
Right.
Lightning. Sorry. That was
Okay.
just...
Yeah. The gods have bestowed upon me a test of character. Apparently. So I sort of look at my arm and it's like, maybe it's best if I approach this from an angle that I know a little more intimately. Roland.
Hi! How's it going?
Hi. I heard there was a working smith here. Is that the case?
Yeah! There was a couple.
We
There's
could...
a blacksmith and also a smithy and an armorer. I don't know exactly which one you're interested in.
Let's go for maybe someone who's a bit more open to unique designs with smithing. Something.
Well, I could introduce you to Horkin. He runs the blacksmith.
All right, that sounds good.
That probably sounds good.
Okay. So you guys go over to the basically on the. There's a large building that exists in the kind of the middle of the Vale, not the Vale, the middle of the keep. That is
Shit.
That is multiple.
Quite a distance.
No, there's multiple. That is multiple businesses and apartments that are next to each other attached. The middle one has a awning out front and also has a forge and a smelter. And what you see is a short, pudgy blonde hair and a top knot and a medium beard, no mustache in the king's style. And you see that he walks from the smelter to the forge with a limp, and he sees you approach, and he says, and he sees Roland, and he kind of rolls his eyes, and he says, "Can I do something for you?"
Yeah.
Hello, Horkin. How you doing?
He says, "Yeah, hi."
I've got some guys here, Wally in England. They need some special blacksmithing.
Special blacksmithing, you say? Nice to meet you, Wally.
It's
His name
actually
is-
Walzer.
And I'm Indolard.
Oh yeah, Roland's an idiot.
I've kind of worked that out. I'm somewhat of a smithy myself, but as you can see, I sort of point to my arm. I sort of nudge my head to my arm. It's like currently unable to do a lot of that work myself. I was wondering if you'd be able to work with me in order to create some sort of metallic brace for my arm, something a little more comfortable to wear than what I've got currently. Have you done anything like this before?
It's possible. We need a mold though. Yeah, it's doable. Might cost you.
What are we looking at in terms of cost? I assume we're looking at, and maybe this can be set up for a roll or something like that, Graham. Maybe I can do some sort of smithing speak to sort of like know whether or not I'm getting shafted on the materials or the time and effort to build and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, when he tells you, you can. But he's going to limp over around the forge to where you are, and he's going to look at your arm, and he's going to say, "What kind of material are you looking for?"
Something a little sturdy, something that can sort of bend maybe if need be. I don't want to be locked into my movement too much. Ideally, what I want to be able to do is put all the weight on my shoulder rather than on the arm itself, and then be able to...
Oh, I see what you mean. It'd have to be a full sleeve. That'd be the whole arm.
Yeah, I was thinking along those lines, yes. And ideally, I want to be able to...
the other arm.
Yeah, I want to be able to like hold my my lucerne again and be able to defend myself. But right now, it seems like the weight of the Lucerne, and being able to move it is kind of the troubling task. So anything that can lift the bearing load off the actual part that's broken and move it over to the other parts of the body would be ideal.
I see what you mean. Unfortunately, something like that I don't think would help. I mean, I'll make it for you, but that arm appears.
Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. I know it's broken, but right now I don't have any other options available to me. Apparently, I've been blessed with a test of character, so.
How long has he already has he had the broken arm at this point? They traveled for a
Maybe
while.
like 10 days. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, probably, I don't know, a month and a half left to recovery.
And now, Walter or Dave, even if you got a sleeve of that design, you still would not be able to use the Lucerne hammer.
That's fine, as long as I can hold it and look like I can use it.
Okay, yeah, you could hold it. So yeah, he says. Well, he goes back then. What kind of what kind of material? I can do something steel. Bronze would be the easiest, cheapest.
Let's go with bronze. It also would probably breathe a lot easier too.
I mean, in 2 pieces, you think? 2 pieces, forearm.
Yeah, I'm thinking something along the lines. Maybe something like a clasp or a bracelet around the wrist, and then something as a shoulder pad up top, and have the 2 pieces connected.
Now, far be it from me to shy away from complicated solutions, but why don't you just start using an offhand weapon, like a blade?
I mean, it would probably be a lot better practically, Molzer. You can still, swing about maybe not swing your Lucerne, but pretend like you can use it for intimidation purposes. But when a fight comes down, you really do need a weapon you can actually use.
No, don't try to talk him out of it. I think it's a fine idea.
Molzer, you're about to get ripped off.
Don't listen to them. I think you look. Let me see you hold that hammer.
I can't.
Now, see, don't you want to? Don't you want to be able to? Isn't that why you live?
Well, here's the thing. Unless you can come up with a way that allows me to swing a shorter hammer, then I think we're going to be out of luck. My skill set is very.
Well, here, try this on for size, and he gives you just a smithing hammer, like a normal hammer, and he tells you to hold it in your left hand.
How do I fare with it?
Try to swing that. I don't know. Maybe give me an attack roll just on nothing, but
like a D20.
Give me just your basic attack bonus. Yeah, it's going to be +5, but you're going to take an offhand penalty of -4, so it's going to be +1.
That in?
It's awkward and doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
He says, "Yeah, see, you're much better off just sticking with the two-handed hammer. Let's get that sleeve made for you, and I'll send you on your way. We'll get it. We'll right as rain for you."
Thank you. Now we're here on favor from Captain Sennett, so I assume that you'll treat me respectfully in terms of price. And I'll
Sure, of course.
And I'll know if there's anything wrong with what you're building here.
Everything on the up and up. Everything's a fair price. Fair. I'm the fairest trader in the keep. Trust me. I'm your friend. Okay, I'm your friend.
Can I tell if he's bullshitting us?
Okay, how about empathy?
Yeah.
All right, so what's empathy based off in
Intuition.
Intuition or charisma, it says.
Right.
Can I just go off of charisma?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, come on!
Everything seems kosher.
Son of a bitch. Well, all right.
What are you looking at in terms of cost here, Hawken?
And he says, "Well, gonna have to get the bronze specially brought in. gonna set you back a couple of gold, and then the materials themselves. And he kind of goes over to he points to his fingers rather. So he goes a couple over there, the materials themselves. And then you see that he counts to 5 on his fingers, and then he says, "First, for a job this big, it's pretty big job. I imagine you want it quickly, don't you?"
I just
Soon
sort
as
of,
possible.
I just sort of look at him and like, well, don't rush yourself.
If you like, I can try and smelt a special alloy out of
Now,
bronze and.
don't get ahead of yourself here. We simply need something as a temporary solution, not a permanent one.
Let's call it. We'll call it 10 gold. Call it even. 10 majestics. We're friends. I'm cutting you a deal here.
I want to do a blacksmithing intelligence check here.
Okay.
Basically to see whether or not this is everything.
So this is plus 10.
Yeah, if the cost is matching up in my mind, basically. 28.
He has greatly inflated the price.
I look at him and I'm like...
Probably by at least double.
I know for a fact that every single smith on this entire face of the planet would never have to go out of their way to find bronze, let alone have any trouble smithing it into something quickly and efficiently. That's the whole point of bronze. I sort of look at him with
we're cutting a mold from scratch here. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
I scratch him. I scratch my hand with my my chin with my good hand. And say, I could probably do it with my one hand. In fact,
says,
you know
"All right,
what? Why don't you just give me the materials? And I know that they're cheap.
No. I got trust me. I'm trying to help you.
Oh, I know
I
about
want to
this
do
help.
I want to do this for you. I want to do this for you.
I know you do. I can see the amount of work that you have in your in your smithery right now. And plenty of horseshoes and whatnot.
Yeah. No. Trust me. Okay. How about this? Special discount. Roland. Me and Roland are good friends. 7 gold, and we're square.
When you make it 5.
5.
Yes.
5.5. 5.5. Hey, I'm flexible. 5. 5 gold. I can live with that. As long as next time you need something done, you come to me first. You come to Horgan. Good friend.
Well, it depends whether or not I can actually make it myself. And then I put 2 gold on the table, and I'm like, this is to get you started. You can expect the other 3 when it's done.
Okay, he'll take the 2 gold and he'll go back to his forge.
I'll drop by in a few days.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, once we're up, I'd probably say, how badly was he ripping you off?
Quite a bit. I could have got
Whatever's
even.
next.
I could have got even half of that down even further, but the man doesn't have a lot of work, so. I guess I turned to Engelard. I'm like, well, where do you want to start searching for leads?
The Bailey. I guess the Bailey might be a good place to start. I mean, there's not much else that we can go to.
All right.
Maybe just the Bailey.
Okay. You know the way, and I look at Roland.
I certainly do know the way by now.
Roland, will you be joining us?
GM, are they allowed in the Bailey?
If they go there, they will be rudely rebuffed, and you know this.
Yeah,
that civilians and the common rabble don't get into the Bailey. That's more for soldiers and Captain Sinat and people who are.
Oh, I thought that was just the Keep's Castle.
I don't have the
that's
authority
that's where
to
the
invite you into the inner Bailey.
We're working directly for Captain Sinat. We were told that we could have all the help we need to get this investigation done.
Yeah, and I mean,
You'll have to be escorted by Captain Sinat then.
That seems
That's
highly
fine.
inefficient.
well, it might be inefficient, but right now we need to get started
Why
somehow.
don't we ask him for a favor or something like that we can carry?
Hmm.
Do you know of anything like that, Roland?
No, I've never heard of that.
Well,
How do you go to the toilet in your suit? I'm curious.
Uh,
I
Sorry?
think
Do you
I
just
think I'd rather not know.
wet your pants? Like, it looks hard to get out of.
well, I take it off eventually, you understand.
That would be a sight to behold. Well, we won't visit the Bailey.
Well, let's go see Senate first and see if we can get that favor or even like an escort or something like that.
I guess. I'll think of a different place to visit if we can't go there.
Yeah, you guys know that the main watchtower is where Captain Sinat and Lieutenant Epsilon make their offices,
Okay, we will
Alright,
go to
we
the.
can go there.
but as well as their soldiers. There's basically 24 that operate out of that tower.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go there, and Pike is still following me around. Like I'm just gonna make that clear. I'm gonna make sure he follows me around everywhere right now,
Okay, he's got the saddle on and the.
barding and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. You guys go to the basically when you get to the watchtower, the door is open. There are people coming and going that would appear to be soldiers coming and going. And you go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Pike can come inside, he'll come inside. Like that's
He
just,
doesn't. It's just an inside. It's a no.
okay.
Yeah, so no.
So the main first floor of this building has essentially, it's fairly empty. There's a sign or a kind of board on the wall which indicates the bounties for the amount of money for the various creatures. And there's basically on the board there's a sign that has pictures of monsters and an equal sign and then a number of coins to show how much the bounties are worth.
Any creatures that I recognize?
Well, here I've got the yeah.
All right.
So you guys see that the goblins are the cheapest. They're the most.
What's an Aryan?
Well, you're not sure.
You have a
Angular,
picture there,
no.
right? So
I would
Yeah.
know, so.
It appears to be a ram.
interesting. They give
Interesting.
coins for the head of sheep. That's weird.
It's a little bit more dangerous than a sheep.
No.
Trust me.
I grab a soldier and I was like, where is Captain Sennett's office?
Third floor, and actually there's a man at a desk under or near the board, and
Okay.
he's got an indigo colored cape on, and he stands up, and you see that he's got a beard, and he's barrel chested and looks tough, or trying to look tough. He says, I'm Lieutenant Absalon. What can I speak for Captain Sinat? What can I do for you?
Hello, my name is Walzer and this is Engelard, and I'm sure you know
Yep,
Roland.
well,
Uh,
who wouldn't at this
Yeah,
point?
I know him just fine.
we're here on
Whoa.
behalf of a man named Thistleburrows up in the Vale. We're here to...
Oh yes, I've heard of you. Captain Sinat just came and he filled me in. What can I do for you?
I was hoping that we could get some sort of favor or something that we could carry around so that we can have no problems with our investigation.
What's the idea? Like a letter of business?
Yeah, something that can open doors
Yeah.
a little easier for us, if you know what I mean.
Well, see, I'll let you on information is that even we command the guards out of this tower. Solomon's got his own guards. You know, they kind of have their own agendas. They do their own thing. As well, further, the Inner Bailey and Lord Indigo has his own personal guard, his elite guard. And if you were trying not to cause a panic, trying to strong arm your way into the Inner Bailey is a good way to start a panic, because honestly, nobody goes in there.
Well, we weren't doing trying to cause panic. We just want.
The idea is that the person who's going to cause the panic is Lord Indigo himself. He's excitable.
It's not so.
And so trying to strong arm your way in to see him is not going to be the best course of action, especially with his advisors.
You control the gates here, correct?
I control the main gate, or I control the archers. I control the crossbowmen.
So,
personally.
did you have any sort of like passport? Not passport, but verification system on the entryway here, so you can see who comes and goes?
Well, Dave, that's not really something that people have. Normally, they have letters of recommendation and.
Well, I mean, like, surely they have some way of tracking who's in the place right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be Lionheart's job normally.
Okay, well, maybe I should speak to him.
Sure. When he's asking for if they have any contraband or anything when they come in, his advisor or his partner is keeping track of who's who and who's coming in and who's leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I think if we can't go after Indigo right now, maybe we should go after suspicious characters that have been in the town recently.
That's what I was thinking. So we would probably go to
well, maybe I can point you in the right direction. Suspicious characters, you say?
Yes.
He looks pointedly at Roland.
I mean, aside from the obvious in the room.
Yeah, I mean.
And he says, well, the most suspicious thing about this place is the monsters out there.
Well,
come with me.
I mean suspicion as in people who might be interested in more gold than they've probably ever seen in their entire lives. Maybe someone's coming in who's purchasing things more than they should be, or anyone living above their means. Anything like that would be a useful start.
Yeah.
Well, the Justiciar, Solomon and Hammond, his advisor, are the meanest men you'd like to meet.
All right.
And they, you'll see him. He's the only one wearing plate mail and wielding a bastard sword with a jewel in the hilt.
So
it's very telling of a man when his weapon is worth more than his life.
Yeah, his guards are considered the hardiest and toughiest.
Toughiest.
Hardiest and
They're
and
real
toughest.
toughies.
Hardiest and toughest in the whole fortress. Alistair, the jeweler. He's shady. Cheats on his wife.
Of course.
I don't trust Priest very much. Brother Grimbald strikes me odd, as well as Leland strikes me odd as well.
Oh, can you elaborate on Grimvold?
He's too nice. You know the type.
Oh, I've met a lot of nice people, and they've always
something to hide is what I say. Don't you think, Roland? He swats you on the back, swats you in the chest with a backhand.
Sorry. Yeah. He is very smiley.
I mean,
Roland, what are you doing with these two anyway?
Captain Sinet ordered me to show them around.
I mean, he gave a good tour to me.
Does Marcel know you're out? Have your case?
Theoretically.
He says, that's all I can really tell you. As far as, well, I mean, no, I mean, that's who I think is suspicious. Other than that, I've got a lot of work to do here with the monsters and such. He says, Captain Sinat will, yeah.
You know, you might have a better time killing all the monsters if you put a higher bounty on them.
Well, I mean, these bounties are decent enough. These goblins aren't exactly hard to kill, after all.
He says, well, the keep's not made of money, Wally.
Might want to stop calling him that.
At that, I just sort of turn around and walk out.
Okay.
Well,
Then what?
well, I'd follow him out.
Okay.
Let's go see
After they
Lionheart.
leave, I turn, I say,
Strange folk, don't you think?
and then I also turn and leave.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to, Engelard, how do you feel about looking... I see 2 points of things that we can look into. The Journeyman's Guildhouse seems like a good start. I mean, if there's getting a lot of mercenaries in here, maybe some of them got a little picky along the road. The other one is maybe Lion's Heart, and see if we can find some suspicious characters. Maybe even people who started living above what they used to live in. Maybe someone who comes to a payday.
I also considered, there's also a couple other interesting places I was shown. There's the local trader, Red. I mean, I could inquire with him to see if there's been any increase in purchases from anybody. Maybe some sudden influx of stock for him.
What does he sell?
Mostly just basic commodities and also trade goods.
Okay.
So things like, and also there's another thing which is called King's Savings and Loan. It's basically a storefront kind of thing where people can go, they can sell their stuff, take out loans, so on. So I mean, might be another interesting place to check out.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go check out Red though, personally.
All right. I'll, well, maybe I can look through the guild house at the mercenaries. They're sort of more my folk than the,
I'd say.
yes. Graham, how do you feel about taking a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, guys, we'll be back in 3 to 5 for the last hour of Die Party Blood Jews week number 4. Don't go anywhere, because we're not.